When Emily was about 13 years old, she came to me and said, "Dad, have you started saving for my wedding yet?" I looked at her and said, "What did you say?" She says, "Dad, I want a really big wedding, and it's going to cost you a lot of money, so you need to be saving like now." So I said, "Yeah, I'm saving." She says, "How much you have?" So I wanted to impress her. I said, $2,000. She says, "Dad, that's not even going to pay for my wedding dress." That's when I knew I was in trouble. Well, several years later, Emily starts dating. And as she dates, she starts to realize that there are certain qualities in a man that she would have to have if she were to meet Mr. Right. So she starts a list. It's called Requirements for Mr. Right. And the longer she dates, the longer the list gets. And I happen to have that list with me tonight. At the top of the list, he has to be a minimum of 6 feet tall. Has to be good looking, smart, funny, romantic. Well, anyway, the list goes on and on. Oh, and at the bottom of the list is a requirement from her mother. He has to be a nice Jewish boy. Well, after looking at this list, I realized that Emily is never getting married. The list is way too long. But then I think that could be a good thing, because I could take that money I've been saving all these years, buy myself a brand new luxury car, and pay cash. But then along comes this guy named Jason. And I meet Jason, and I figure, okay, I know he's got one of the qualities. He's 6 feet tall. But the more I get to know Jason, the more I get to like him. And I realize that this is the man that I would want my daughter to marry. And I've always hoped that Emily would find someone that would love her and take care of her the way she deserves to be loved and taken care of. And I do believe Jason is that man. And Emily, Mom and I are so proud of you tonight. You've become such a beautiful woman, and you look gorgeous in that dress. But you're also beautiful on the inside. And I think Jason said it best when he told me that when he found Emily, he felt like he had won the lottery. And that's true, Pooch, because you are 1 in a million, and he is a very lucky guy. Now, you heard me call Emily Pooch. That's a nickname I gave her when she was about 2 years old. When she was 2, she was definitely a daddy's girl. She followed me everywhere. And one day I looked down at her and I thought, this is like a puppy dog following me around. I'm going to call her Pooch. And that name has stuck all these years. But then, when she entered high school, I started to get a little nervous. I thought, you know how kids can be cruel with names? I said, Emily, if you don't want me to call you Pooch anymore, it's fine. But she knew that over the years, when I call her Pooch, what I'm really saying is, I love you. And she said, Dad, I don't ever want you to stop calling me Pooch. And Emily has always made me feel like I was her number one guy, whether it came to helping her move or just to have a good talk, car maintenance, whatever. I always tried to be there for her. And tonight, I'm going to pass that number one status on to Jason, because I know in my heart he'll be there for her just the way I always have been. Oh, and by the way, Jason, her tires need rotating, so you need to get... And finally, I come to the part where I wanted to give you some advice on how to have a successful marriage. And I've had about 2 years now to step back and watch the two of you grow as a couple. And I've come to realize that you really don't need any advice because you have all the ingredients you're ever going to need for a very successful marriage. I see the way you respect each other. Whether it's emotions or opinions, you always show that respect. Then there's communication. I see the way you talk to each other. Whether it's good or bad, you always converse back and forth. And I know you've had some disagreements, but you always find a way to reach a middle ground, a compromise, because you know that the most important thing in your life is that you're together and you love each other. And nothing comes before that. And then there's love. I see the way you hold each other, the way you look at each other with a deep commitment of love. So you see, you're already there. You don't need advice. And Jason, I want you to know that it's my honor to welcome you into our family tonight. On that note, I'd like you all to raise your glasses and join me in a toast. To the most beautiful bride in the world, the best son-in-law a man could ever have. May your lives be filled with happiness, health, and prosperity. To life, l'chaim.